Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the 14th episode of the 4th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click in it, put the password in, and enjoy. So last episode, I actually thought was a good one. I really enjoyed it. All the group was collectively together. They was going to a conference, and we had 3 girls, we had the 4 guys, and it was like a little mini road trip. We had obviously 4 people in one car, 3 in the other, and Penny ended up getting kicked out of Sheldon's car. He wasn't, happy with the way she was playing his games, and she ended up getting put in the car with Howard and Bernadette, and they sung songs all the way along. Now, interestingly, when he arrived at the conference, Howard met one of Bernadette's previous ex-partners, and he was a big, tall, handsome guy, and obviously he felt a little bit insecure, do you know what I mean? And when he was talking to her, he was basically saying, how can he compete with her? With him for her, and then he ended up kind of saying something about Bernadette's looks and like how did she even pull off a guy like that anyway. Didn't really mean to do it, but that actually happened, and then obviously she stormed out. She started staying in different rooms, you know what I mean? Penny ended up leaving her room that she was sharing with Amy, who are now best friends apparently, and she tried to go into Leonard's room, and Sheldon ended up going away and staying with Raj, and it looked like Leonard was about to hit it off with Penny again. It looked like he was about to actually, have some fun for the night before Raj actually come in and spoiled it. And then later on at the press conference, or whatever you want to call it, when he was sat down and he was talking on the panel, everybody was shouting at each other, everybody was bickering, and Penny ended up leaving with the guy that Bernadette used to date, which left Leonard fuming, driving home, anger, speeding, getting pulled over by the police, and it was just a bad day all around for him. So that was interesting. I wonder if we continue that in today's episode, or if they acknowledge that they nearly rekindled in the last one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you do, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
I'm your guest lecturer, Dr. Sheldon Cooper. I was expecting applause. But I suppose stunned silence is equally appropriate. I was told that you're the best and the brightest of this university's doctoral candidates. That's like saying you're the most important electron in a hydrogen atom. Because you see, there's only one electron in a hydrogen atom. Who here is familiar with the concept of topological insulators? Don't kid yourselves.
I found another tweet from a student at Sheldon's lecture. Dr. Cooper has taken a relatively boring subject and managed to make it completely insufferable. Get an entire lecture hall to flip you off at the same time.
Apparently, if you're Sheldon, all you need to do is turn your back.
That bad, huh?
Read this woman's tweet.
Talking to Dr. Cooper has made me want to start cutting myself again.
So, how'd the lecture go? In a word, triumphant. You should have seen those young people. They're thirsty for knowledge, drinking in my wisdom. I may have changed a few lives today. Oh, tweets about my lecture. Rather unfair. That's downright cruel. Plus, insects have 6 legs. Suppose everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I think I'll turn in. I want to teach those poopy heads anyway.
Right, the interesting thing is that being a lecturer, you're never going to please anyone. You know what I mean? Everyone, sorry. Like, some people will actually enjoy the class, other people will actually hate it. When I was at university, like, we had loads of people that was giving speeches and stuff, and I couldn't understand them. Like, literally, I think because I went during the COVID time, and we had to do some online sessions, and, like, some of the classes was being taught by, I actually had that teacher teach us from South Africa, and somebody teach us from Bangladesh, and the connection was terrible. You couldn't even hear them, and it's just like, do you know what I mean? Where some other people would have took something from that lecture, I didn't. I wouldn't go online and do a tweet about it. But at the end of the day, if you're somebody like Sheldon, as long as you're confident that you give your best and you actually did give them a lot of information, then whether they took it as good or bad, then that's their problem. Do you know what I mean? It actually is. And I also think as well, as an actor, like I'm talking about him as a person for the show, getting up and speaking in front of all those people, I don't know how they get the confidence to do it. They obviously do it in front of a live audience, which I think's absolutely solid anyway. But like, I think it's crazy how an actor has enough confidence to get up and act in front of so many people, but do it really well as well. You know what I mean? So think about somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio or something, like a top tier, top actor. He could just turn a scene on like that, change characters, just like bang, 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 and then go back into the normal cells. It's such a skill, honestly, because I'm shocking at acting, but I also feel like how they do it in front of everybody, I think it's really amazing.
Sheldon's still moping.
Yeah, it's weird. Even though he didn't want to give the lecture in the first place, being rejected by those students really hit him hard.
I know the feeling. It's like accidentally walking into a gay bar and then having no one hit on you.
Is doing okay?
Yeah, Leonard and I are fine, but I think Raj needs to meet a girl really soon.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard. He's such a cutie. Don't you listen to them. You've got plenty of sex appeal.
You really think so?
Yeah, you're a hottie.
But I think it's so much better when he speaks to the women. I actually do think it's so much better.
A charming illusion, but it does not cheer me up. Do you realize that teaching is the first thing I've failed at since my ill-fated attempt to complete a chin-up in March of 1989?
First thing that comes to mind is isolating the part of your brain where the memory is stored and destroying it with a laser.
Oh, one slip of the hand and suddenly I'm sitting in the engineering department building doodads with Wallowitz.
Have you considered improving your socialization skills, thus allowing you to communicate more effectively with other people?
Isn't that their burden? I'm the one with something interesting to say.
You should consider taking acting lessons.
It might help if I could act as though I care about my students and whether or not they learn.
The thing is, again, you know, watching somebody act, it's like, you know, when I say people who act drunk, that's hard to do. And like watching somebody act, trying to act, I think is like a mad skill. It actually is, because when he's acting now, when we're watching him, he's acting. But then when he's failing to act in the show, he's also acting again. And do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's mad. And the biggest thing about actors that I think is impressive is when they talk, they have a lot of facial expressions. And if you didn't have facial expressions, you just look kind of mute or whatever. So I don't really know. Like, if you watch Sheldon and focusing on his face, he's always up and down his eyebrows. He's twisting his mouth. Do you know what I mean? He's always moving his mannerisms. He's giving, like, the way he's delivering his words, his facial expressions convince you that's his kind of like feeling. Do you know what I mean? He's playing it. So it's not just saying the words, it's like making your face believe that you mean to say them. Do you know what I mean?
Penny! 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 You're an actress.
I'm not an actress. I'm an actress. You want an acting lesson?
Perhaps two. I'd like to master the craft.
Okay, just to be clear, you are asking me for help because I know something that the brilliant Dr. Sheldon Cooper doesn't.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
Does this mean you are done mocking my acting career?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought making the transition from actor to acting teacher was the signal that one's career had reached the end of the road.
Raj, I have amazing news.
What?
I just got offered a fellowship at the Weitzman Institute in Israel.
Dude, that's incredible.
I know! The only thing is I'm gonna be gone for 2 years. See, Bernadette has needs, sexual needs. While I'm gone, you're gonna have to satisfy her.
Is he dreaming?
What do you say?
I say okie dokie.
What's going on here? Oh, I knew he was dreaming because he was having a conversation with her as well. I was thinking, how's he talking to her?
Thinking so hard about.
Just that I'm definitely not gay.
Penny! Penny!
What's wrong?
Nothing. I was acting. How shall we begin?
Well, I thought we'd start with some basic movement exercises. You know, get our bodies warmed up a little.
This feels natural. Certainly more natural than what you're doing.
All right, let's just say we've warmed up.
You're the teacher.
Okay, one of the things that might help you in connecting with your students is being a little more spontaneous.
Action.
No, the shipment has not arrived, and I really need those shoes. They are my biggest seller. Yes, ladies, sizes 6 through 10. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I have to go. I have a customer. Hi, can I help you?
I'd like a frozen yogurt, please.
Yogurt. Yeah, okay, sure. Luckily, we sell both shoes and yogurt here.
I was gonna say it's not sanitary.
Yes, look up at the sign and remember, improv is always about saying yes.
I see a sign. It says Camarillo State Mental Hospital. It's the only explanation I can come up with for why you think you sell shoes and yogurt.
I had dreams, you know. I was gonna be famous. Show everybody back home I could be someone. Now look at me.
Oh my God, is he okay?
What happened?
Hang on. Howard was on his scooter and got hit by a truck. He's in critical condition.
Oh no!
He's dreaming again. He's thinking about Bernadette.
Did you hear? Isn't it terrible?
Be okay. It'll be okay. Howard, hello.
Not gonna make it.
No, don't say that. You're going to be all right.
Raj, I don't have time. Now, pay attention. Wish is that you look after Bernadette.
Of course.
Sexually.
Got it. Take care.
Or it could be Sci-Fi. SYFY. Sci-fi.
Definitely does need to go out, doesn't it? But do you reckon it's because, like, it's the only female that's kind of giving him compliments and affection? Do you know what I mean? Like, although she's not kind of engaging and fully going in for him, do you know what I mean? Like, every time she sees him, she says, like, he's funny, he's handsome, do you know what I mean? And she'll have no problem actually getting the women. And then maybe on his half, he's like, oh, do you know what I mean? The first female that showed me some attention. Yes, yes, yes. And now he can't stop thinking about her. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens because obviously, you know, he's not going to end up with Bernadette. But I wonder if he ends up actually getting a date.
Did you get a chance to go over the scene I gave you?
Yes, I didn't care for it.
Okay, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof is an American classic.
So is the McRib sandwich. I don't care for that either. Adapting a Star Trek fan fiction novella I wrote when I was 10 into a one-act play.
Think it's better than Tennessee Williams?
Why don't we leave that for future generations to decide? In this pivotal scene, Sheldon's mother, played by you, argues with an emissary of the United Federation of Planets, Mr. Spock, the role I will bring to life.
Okay, the whole point of this is to loosen you up a little. So I'm thinking you'll play the role of your mother, and I will bring life to Mr. Spock.
East Texas. A warm summer night. Coyote howls at the moon, frightening sensitive young boys everywhere. Ow, ow, ow! Shelley? Shelley, how many times have I told you not to leave your sciencey stuff out on the porch?
Talk to Enterprise, transport successful.
Glory be to heaven! Some sort of creature just manifested out of thin air. Oh my! Your sudden appearance startles me.
We have been monitoring your son, Sheldon, from the 23rd century, and we have determined that he is now ready to join us. His unique genius is our best hope for bringing peace to a vast and troubled galaxy. That's your cue.
I'm sorry, I just love that line. Be sure to pack clean underwear.
That's good, that's good, that's good.
Mommy, why are you crying? Because I'm gonna miss you, Shelly Bean. Even though you creeped the bejesus out of me. It's not my fault. I'm just incredibly smart, and everyone around here is dumber than a bag of rocks.
Mate, it's such good acting, honestly.
Thanks, Penny. Yeah, I think I broke your son.
Again, doing that in front of an audience.
Hey, Raj, I know you've been avoiding me and Howard, and I'm not leaving until you tell me what's going on inside that little head of yours.
Like the wild elephant, I am trumpeting my love for you.
Like a hidden flower, my sweet fragrance comes into view.
You are my heart, my universe. You are my heart, my universe.
Is she in front of him? No. He's obsessed with her.
Dance number aside, I'm so not gay.
Like literally, he had a random episode in, but it was good though because like even though his conversations or whatever the actions that we watched was pretty much all in his head, he had a lot of screen time, which is really good. I feel like he gets less time than everybody else, if I'm being totally honest, and I actually don't mind his character at all. I feel like we should utilize him a bit more in the show. I feel like, you know, okay, in the first few seasons, like 1, 2. Maybe 3 as well, I was kind of okay with him, like, really not speaking to the females, and I was like, look, I wonder if we do this gag all the way to the end. But, like, now we're on season 4, and we're, like, literally halfway through it. I'm feeling like it's time to end that now. And personally, anyway, in my opinion, I feel like we're not going to, because, like I said, I feel like it's going to be a gag that they think, oh, we'll keep throughout the whole entirety of the show. But I do think it hinders his character, to be honest. I feel like it reduces the amount of things that you could do with him, because he can't engage in situations, he can't go out on dates. I mean, he can, but, like, it's the same old, same old. Every time he wants to talk to a female, he gets drunk, and then he's a different person. He's, like, super confident, and he's, like, outgoing, and he says what he says, you know what I mean, compared to what he does now when he's a bit quiet and he whispers. But, like, that's not the true Raj, the drunken one, is it? You know what I mean? It's just, like, an older person that's giving him extra boosted confidence, and I really wish that he'd be able to speak to women, because, like, when he was having a... Like, there was a part in there where I was thinking, you know, when they come in, and... they were sat at the table and he was saying that Howard's going away for 2 years or something. Like, he was just flowing and engaging, and I felt like it just feels right now. I feel like, in my opinion anyway, I would take the way of him not being able to speak to women now. Maybe do it to women that he's superly hardcore attracted to. Do you know what I mean? Like, the ones that he's really intimidated by. People like Penny, people like Amy, people like Bernadette. I feel like he needs to be able to have an engaging conversation with them. I just feel like it'll elevate his character. And, you know, like I said, hearing these little things that are made up in his head, he had a better episode. He was engaged and involved more. So I wish, anyway, that we could get him more speaking to the females. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it was a pretty random one, to be honest, honestly. It really, really felt like a random one, but it was an enjoyable one. I actually enjoyed, like I was just saying there, all the scenes that Raj was in. You know, I feel like we don't utilise his character enough, and when he does get his screen time, I always enjoy it. Same way with Howard, to be honest. I feel like he's the funniest in the show, but he doesn't have enough screen time. But then when we do get it, it's really good. Now, obviously, Sheldon is probably the star, and I feel like he showed his acting and his qualities in today's episode. You know, what's he called? Jim Parsons or something, who plays his character. You know, it's weird because, you know, like when you watch things or talk about things and then you go on your phone and you start seeing like advertisements and stuff like that, and it's like, obviously, people say that your phones don't listen, but they 100% do. Because apart from sitting here talking to you guys and obviously watching the show, I don't go searching for Big Bang stuff. And like, if I go on Facebook or go on Twitter, I get like random things popping up, you know, about the cast and the show and stuff. And you know, another interesting thing that I actually learned about is that Leslie and I think Leslie and Leonard, I think, actually dated prior to the show, and then I think then she might have said that she was actually gay, or do you know what I mean, like told him about her sexuality, and he kept it secrets for years, you know what I mean. And when he actually got a position here, he got Leslie onto the show. That's really interesting. What a great friend he actually is in real life, do you know what I mean? Someone you could tell a secret to like that and don't express it and tell anybody else, what a good friend. So that was good to know. That's something that I learned, you know, by the power of my phone, listening and giving me cookies and advertisements or whatever you want to call it. And another thing that I seen was a picture of Sheldon stood there next to a bus stop of a poster of him and Penny, and I think it was Leonard, for the first, you know, basically poster of season 1 of The Big Bang Theory. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. I always love seeing stuff like that, you know, people prior to them blowing up. And obviously, if you look at this now, I think at the end of the show, they was like friends earning $1 million per episode, which is absolutely madness in it. And it's, you know, it's interesting to see as well, like in The Office, you know, at the start when, you know, like the thing, and it's showing all the clips. I think, what's his name now? I'm trying to think of his name in real life, but John Krasinski went and he actually filmed all the location on his normal camera before the show started because he was excited about the show, and they used all those clips and made it as the intro. Like, I think stuff like that's interesting. But like I say, in today's episode, you know, Sheldon was acting. I think it would be really interesting, actually, you know, if, well, one, Penny actually gets an acting job. Because I can't believe we're 4 seasons in and she's not even had like one job or not even mentioned it, you know, have a successful role. At least in Friends, yeah, Joey was Dr. Drake Ramori, you know what I mean? And he might have played things here and there. He was a guy having a shower with his ass out, innit? Do you remember in one of the things as well? Like, he actually got some acting gigs. I'm not saying he was the best actor, but he actually got some, and Penny's never actually done it. And I think it would be really interesting, actually. Sheldon was like, oh, this is easy. You know, this is dead easy. How have you never got a job, Penny? And actually went for an acting job and got one before her. I think that would make a really interesting, great episode. But I feel like he acted great today. You got to give credit where it's due. I think both of them was really good. He improvised really well, and obviously showed his qualities and why he is probably the lead actor in the show. So fair play to him. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.